So Australian men not eating pussy was obviously incredibly disturbing news. And I'm so happy that so many women have come forward and said that their Australian man is an eater, is a certified munch. We love that. But what now has become more deeply concerning to me is that there are Australian men who are not putting in any effort at all. Like the inability to approach a woman first because they're afraid of being turned down. As an American who is in Australia and who has only lived a majority of my life in America, the culture is for men to approach women now. Do we always love the approach? Maybe not. But we can count on men pretty regularly approaching women and feeling comfortable doing that. What I'm hearing, the discourse that I'm hearing is that men just straight up, most men will not approach a woman out ever. Like I have seen now so many videos of Australian women being like, why do no men approach girls? What is going on? Why are men expecting women to approach them? Like what, like, of course there's a time and place, but when there is that time and place, why is that not happening? And the amount of comments that people are saying that Australian men actually put in literally no effort, and that they're looking for mother figures, or they're looking for someone to put in 95% of the effort so that they can show up for that 5% and be praised. Like now the conversation is getting larger, and I'm starting to become more concerned.
Women across the globe are noticing a massive shift. Men have completely stopped chasing, stopped approaching, and stopped planning traditional dates. The old script for romance is officially dead, and the modern market has turned completely cold. If you want the logical, unfiltered analysis of why social dynamics have transformed in 2026, subscribe to the channel right now and hit that notification bell. Let's look at the harsh truth behind the low-effort epidemic.
Okay. At this rate, I need to know how everyone else is doing it. Whether you live in Sydney, Melbourne, Perth, whatever, I do not care. Just Australian men in general, because I've lived in Queensland, I've lived in Melbourne, and I've lived in now Sydney. I don't know if I'm the issue or if our generation is, the boys are, what it is. I know the dating apps are not it, that's for sure, but how is everyone dating now? Because I feel like living in Sydney, you're more likely to get a pen pal that chats you up and whatever, and then like, yeah, you might meet or go on one date, but then that's it, maybe 2 or 3. In Melbourne, there's definitely more potential to go on a date with the men, but Sydney, I feel like it's just pen pals. Queensland, I don't really know, but I also have this issue that when I live in a certain state, I talk to a different state of boys, so I know that's my own issue. God forbid. Yeah, I don't know. It's confusing me. I don't know what the whole dating scene is anymore. I feel like I was out of it for too long, and now I don't know.
I am so curious to get answers from single Australian men, because I'm genuinely starting to believe that none of you guys actually crave romance and a long-term connection. You've probably already seen that being single in Australia isn't the best experience. The one thing that I'm losing hope in is men who actually crave a long-term partner, someone to do all the cutesy romantic stuff with that you see, you know, these other picture perfect men doing on social media. Like, I personally sit at home and see that and think that is literally all I want in life. Like, someone to be in love with and experience life with and travel the world together and be each other's best friends and father of my kids, etc. And it's like, unless that is also your end goal, what's the point in dating? Like, there just isn't any point for me. And I'm starting to think that, like, maybe men don't think the same and they don't sit at home and also crave that romance and someone that they can, you know, love. Maybe it's just the world of Hinge and online dating cloud in my judgment. But then again, it's like, how else do you interact with men or people that you're interested in? But yeah, are you romantic guys out there? Like, are you genuinely sitting at home wanting that as well? And if so, where are you?
In one of my last videos, all the Aussie guys in the comments are bashing Aussie girls. Like, they don't like Australian women. And Australian women never have anything good to say about Aussie guys either. So is there like an unspoken war that I don't know about? Another thing about the Australian dating scene is there is a huge hookup culture. I haven't been super in the dating scene just because I'm like working on myself mode, as we all are in our 20s, but I've been on a couple dates and I've been very reluctant to take anyone serious because I know how the Aussie girls operate a little bit. One of my comments, one of the guys said that Aussie girls are loudmouth and masculine, and I don't think that at all. I think Aussie girls are extremely feminine looking and extremely easy on the eyes, obviously. But I will say sometimes I have noticed, okay, when you're talking to an Aussie girl, sometimes it feels almost like you're talking to like one of the homies. Like they're kind of like cool in that way. And some of the guys don't like that, but to me, I don't know. I think that's kind of what makes them great in a way, that's their thing. So I think that's cool about them. The Aussie girls are very friendly and outgoing, and they'll walk up to you and speak to you. And they're very different than American girls. Aussie girls, you'll look at them and be like, wow, she's extremely sorted and classy. But then when you speak to them, they are, you know, they have a strong personality. So they kind of have the best of both worlds. Whereas American girls, they're not like that. So Aussie girls and American girls are very different. But the dating scene for Australia and America is the same. There's a very big hookup culture.
This is a video for all my girls back in Australia. I'm overseas right now, and I'm coming on here to confirm the theory about how horrible the dating scene is in Australia compared to the rest of the world. Now, back in Australia, I haven't been on the dating scene in a long time. I haven't been interested in finding anyone because the people that I have met have just been huge letdowns that it makes you really put off finding someone. And I keep hearing that more and more and more. And I'll be honest with you, this whole trip, I haven't been on my phone. I haven't been interested in any social media. Like, I've just been living in the moment, and I have been meeting some really, really incredible people. And I wasn't even going to come on and make a video about, because like I'm not even here for that exact reason. I'm not going to come and jump on and sound men-centered, but I heard something the other night, and then it made me want to come on here and tell you girls about it. A man said to me, he was from overseas, and he said to me, is it true that men in Australia don't like approaching women? And I said, how do you know that? And he's like, well, I've met some Australian boys here, and they told me that they don't approach women in Australia. Like, they don't like approaching women. He was like, why is that? Like, that's really weird. Let me tell you, for the longest time, I used to think that there was something wrong with me, because I was like, I don't get approached. Like, any interaction with a man is just makes me want to scream. Like, it's really hard out there. So it's put a lot of us out. It's made to seem weak when you're actually vulnerable with someone, right? When you're vulnerable and you show interest in someone in Australia, like, you're made to just feel like a fool. And I know a lot of people are feeling like that, not even girls. We were talking about it, and he said to me, like, what's the deal? And through everyone that I've met since being overseas, like, I'm just talking just on a social level, like a platonic level, people overseas, like foreigners, they make it very easy to socialize. They make it very easy to be approached, to make friends, to spark romantic flings, like anything like that. Like, the people that I've met since being overseas, I'm like, wow, it made me realize that there's nothing wrong with me. Even the men here, like, they make me feel normal. They make me feel very feminine. They don't like make me feel like I'm in a fight or flight response just talking to them. Anyways, me and him have been talking, and he was like, that's just, I find it so absurd that, like, you know, like, you girls don't get approached. And I said, some of us do, but like a lot of us don't. He said, is it a fear of rejection thing? Like, is there, you know, and I think honestly that the men in Australia just are acting too nonchalant. I hear a lot like, oh, we don't want to come off as a creep, but I think that's becoming an excuse to an extent, right? Because I know girls damn well, some of them, that make it very clear to a guy that they're interested, and they still don't get anything from that guy. Guys don't want to seem like they care too much, and I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's like everyone's just fucking filled with trauma in Australia from God knows what, like, when it comes to approaching. I mean, I have a fear of abandonment and fear of rejection, but I still work through it when it comes to, like, if there's someone that I'm potentially interested in. Hearing it from quite a few people being over here, like, as an Australian girl, I was like, whoa, so you guys even think it's an issue. I've been hearing a lot, so I just wanted to confirm that theory, and I think that something needs to happen, make a change in Australia. Otherwise, none of us are going to be procreating or getting married.
Sydney is the worst place to date in Australia. Whole ecosystem here is fucked. When you're single, in order to find a partner, you would usually go out, meet someone. Sydney has no fucking nightlife. No one in Sydney is meeting the amount of people you need to meet to get numbers and organize dates and stuff like that. No one's like getting that first level of the ecosystem where it drips down into that. You get a couple numbers, speak to them, you go on a date.
It's all just house parties, isn't it? And it's all just people you know in there.
know.
The people that you are meeting, one of your friends has absolutely had sex with. At least you can get a personal recommendation.
People in Sydney are really struggling to meet new people. And I feel like it's different in Melbourne, Gold Coast. I know a lot of people are going to complain, yeah, but the boys are shit in Melbourne too. But at least you get a chance to meet new people.
What the fuck is going on with dating in Australia right now? When I'm overseas, like in Europe, I get asked at least once a fucking day for my number. They don't even ask for my number. They ask, can I take you out to lunch? Stuff like that. Men here, hey babes, like, could I get your snap? And could you come over at like 12 at night? Maybe I can get like Uber Eats and we can watch the footy. There's such a difference between Australian boys and European boys. European boys will cheat on you, don't get me wrong. but at least they're nice to you before they cheat on you. I don't know if it's because things are so expensive now, but these men will not pay for anything. They want 50-50. The only time I get approached in Australia is if I'm at the club. I honestly think dating apps have negatively affected dating in Australia or all over the world, but mainly in Australia because men just don't do anything.
I was having a conversation with people last night about how Australian guys don't really approach women versus American guys do. We're missing a very key piece of information with that statement. While Australian guys may not approach women as much as American men do, the American men that do approach you are not the ones that you want to be approached by. I think Australian guys are more charismatic than a lot of American guys. They're just cooler. Honestly, the mullets and the mustaches are really working out for them. I have no complaints. And if they were to approach women, it would probably work, versus the American guys that I have been approached by are never people that I'm like, wow, I'm so glad he approached me. The difference is that Australian guys don't have the confidence to approach a woman, and they should, versus American guys do have the confidence to approach a woman and they shouldn't. So if there are any Australian girls over here that yearn for an American guy that would actually approach them, you might want to be careful what you wish for now that you know what I just told you.
Shall we talk about dating in Australia? I feel like you guys have all been waiting for this, and I'm going to give you my take and my experience on it so far. So I've been here like, it's over a month. I actually can't remember. I'm losing track of time. First things first is the men here are like a different level. I have no idea what is going on, but what the hell, especially in Bondi, insane. I've met some really, really nice boys. Everyone from back home has said to me, I feel like you're going to meet your husband in Australia and then just never come back. And I have this gut feeling that I am going to meet a boyfriend here. Like, I feel like I'm going to leave here having a boyfriend. That I just get these gut feelings that when I was in Bali, I knew that wasn't going to happen. But here, I'm like, I just have this feeling, right? I feel like guys here, like, they just want to, like, genuinely, I feel like that's all that they want. I did meet this really, really, really nice guy, right, a couple of weekends ago, and all my friends were like, yeah, and I was like, yeah, and it was feeling really, really aligned. I was like, this is looking good, this is looking very, very good, and like, it was going so well, like, way too well, and today he's kind of messed up, and I'm like, it was too good to be true. And so now I'm literally like, oh God, back to square one again. Like, I'm the type of person to be like, that's it, I'm marrying him. Like, 110%, he's gonna be my husband. And now I'm like, oh. But it wasn't anything crazy, so I'll keep you updated with that situation. If it's meant to be, it'll be. I don't think he doesn't follow me on TikTok, so I don't think he will see it. Someone just like ticks every single one of your boxes. We'll see what happens. I'm still hopeful. Still hopeful I'm gonna find my husband next year. My plan is I'm definitely going to have a ring on my finger by the end of next year.
Can someone please tell me whether the dating scene is actually good? Because Australian men are not it. They just have to be so nonchalant. They don't want to plan. They don't want to text first. They don't want to do anything. It's like, oh my God, grow a pair. But anyway, where's somewhere that's better?
The dating scene in Australia is not for the faint-hearted. As a Brit who has lived here for 2 years now, I have noticed some differences between Australian men and English men, so I just thought we would discuss. The first difference is the fact that Australian men do not approach women. When I first got here, I genuinely thought I am ugly to Australians, because the men, they might stare at you, you'll catch them looking, but they're not coming up to you. That's your job. If you don't want to be making the first move, you're not going to be talking to men. Say goodbye to your love life. In England, if you are on a night out, best believe if a guy is interested, he will be hitting on you, he will be offering to buy you drink. It's just wild to see the difference. On the back of this, I don't know if it's because of the fact that Australian men don't approach, but Australian women, very direct. They will go for what they want, and they're beautiful. So they get what they want. For us girlies that don't want to be making the first moves, it does leave you in a bit of a pickle. Of course, we must mention the mullets and the mows. If you want to be dating an Australian, you've got to get comfortable with the fact that they're going to have a mustache and probably a mullet. Now, the Australian man is so chill. They don't like to plan dates. They don't want to be seen to be putting in effort. And I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that there is such a big tradie culture here. Think English rugby boy, macho, one of the boys in Australia. Most men, well, I say most men are tradies. Most men I've met are tradies, and maybe that's where I'm going wrong. They could really like you, but because of this whole idea of, they can't come across too keen. Girls, just take a piece of advice and learn that you're probably not going to be getting much back from them. I really don't want to have to admit this one. The chat, it's good. Australian men have good chat, I'll give them that, but it isn't the same as a British boy. That pains me to have to admit, they're just not as funny. So we're kind of in the trenches out here. Ladies, just giving you a heads up.
Guys, I really thought you were joking when you said dating in Sydney is literal hell, but like I've been on a couple dates recently and oh my god, they have been the worst dates I've ever gone in my entire life. Like I've spent my prime years of dating living in London and like honestly they weren't great, but like at least the boys had some sort of personality and like they almost seemed like they wanted to actually date you. Whereas like dating guys in Sydney, like every single guy on Hinge seems to think that Hinge is like a hookup app, which I kind of in my brain thought Tinder was like a hookup app, like Hinge was actually for dates. But like in Sydney, you don't even get to the point of going on a date with a guy on Hinge. They just like go straight to, oh, when are you coming round? Like it was literally a Tuesday afternoon, or not even Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening, like 8 p.m. and someone's like, what are you doing tonight? I was like, I don't know, fucking going to bed, I have work tomorrow. And I think it's because men don't know how to act when they're like outside in Sydney. Like no man will approach you in Sydney, whereas at least in London, people will come up to you. Here, I swear to God, men are actually like afraid of talking to girls. But then also like so many guys in Sydney also do have girlfriends, so I don't know how that's happened. Like, am I missing something? But yeah, guys, it's hell here. I hate it.
Oh my fucking God. Someone tell me why Aussie men... I'm literally speechless right now. See, I can't even talk. I just had the most traumatic experience. Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna explain what just happened because that was literally not normal. So got asked out on a date by this guy. We were meant to go for a swim and he said, let's go for a swim and grab a drink Friday afternoon. Cute, okay, perfect. So I was at the beach today and he was working, so he was like, let's do it like later Friday, so like 5:30ish. And I just assumed we were just doing drinks because like I didn't assume we would like be going for a full-on swim at this time, even though it is still light, but I don't know. So I'm all dressed up, ready to go, and he goes, I'm here. So I come down, and as soon as I get down, he doesn't even say hi. The first thing he says is, where's your bikini? And I'm like, oh, I thought we were just doing drinks, like, and he goes, no, I've got shit to do. I've got shit to do after. And I'm just like, oh, like, I didn't realise. He doesn't even say hi, how are you? He's like got his phone open this whole time and he's like leaning back on this thing and he's got his motorbike there. And I'm just like, what? Like, I'm in shock. Like, I don't know what to say. And he's like, yeah, don't worry, darling. Like, I'll see you later. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, what do you mean you'll see me later? Like, he wanted me, like, he was like, don't worry, darling. Like, see you later. And I was like, what was the point in that? And he goes, don't worry. To, like, tell me to leave. Anyways, I'm like, and I literally like declined other dates tonight because I thought I was seeing this guy, and then he's like literally fucking psycho. Like, I'm like, he's definitely got something wrong with him. Like, that is not normal behavior.
Did you think dating in Melbourne was bad for you? Just wait and listen to this. This guy that I've met up with before messages me on Snapchat saying like, I look really cute and whatever. And he goes, you should start sending me like behind the scenes photos. And my idiot ass thinks he means like day my life videos, like personalized for him, you know, like behind the scenes. And then so the next day I wake up and I start sending like, you know, random photos throughout my day that are like behind the scenes, I guess, like, you know, woke up making a coffee, and then he messages me and he's like, you still haven't sent me any behind the scenes photos. He was asking for nudes. First of all, I could never. Secondly, like, grow the fuck up. Behind the scenes, I thought you were like, oh babe, like, you're so cute making TikToks and that, like, send me some behind the scenes. No, he said, it's getting hot in here. Take off all your clothes. No, absolutely not.
Good morning, guys. I'm currently on a little walk to the gym. Thought we could talk about dating in Australia. I haven't experienced this for myself, but I have been warned that the men in Australia are like completely different to like English boys. Apparently, like on nights out and stuff, they don't come up and like say hi, like, or like they don't buy drinks, like that's like unheard of. I'm shocked, like, because from my experience I feel like Australian boys are super friendly, they're super chatty. Just feel like I need all the gals' advice on dating in Australia, and if I need to be warned about anything else and what to expect, because I want to have my anyone but you summer. Literally that is the only reason why I'm in Sydney. Do you want to say, like, the men here? I was just sat on Bondi Beach the other day and I just couldn't believe my eyes. I was like, what is this place? Like, I'm not complaining.
Guys, I wanted to give you an update on my trying to date in Australia. Like, the men here are so different, like they act different. I don't know if it's like they don't get the same kind of like banter vibe. Seen a guy and I was like, I think I like him, like bodybuilder, like everyone here is like muscle. And we did so much together. We like went for like Yochi, like the sun. We went and kind of did loads of little dates, and like he picked me up from a night out. Like, it was so cute. And then just radio silence, like just weird. Like, I went a little bit off because I didn't think he was getting my banter, and then just suddenly nothing. And I think it's so much easier to like meet people and date, but then when it comes to actually like dating here, I think because there's such a dating culture, it's actually really difficult. And the men also don't approach, like the girls need to approach. And I said for the new year, like, I'm going to put myself out there more, I'm going to go on dates, because I've been so like, I'm so content single, I'm so fine myself, that now like maybe I'm ready to add someone to my life. But it's difficult here. Like, the dream is to meet an Aussie man and settle down, but I don't think it's happening.
As a Canadian who's lived in Australia for 2 years, one of the biggest differences I've noticed between other places I've lived and Australia is the way Australians handle relationships, both platonic and romantic. I've found that the dating life in Australia is extremely difficult because of the sort of chill culture and the low effortness of it all. I've been on dates with multiple nationalities, ethnicities, from different parts of the world, and I will say Australians are the ones that put in the least amount of effort. I grew up with a British mom and I grew up in England, so I was around a lot of like British banter growing up, and that's something I know a lot of. And I've dated a lot of British guys and I really get along with them because of their banter. When it comes to Australians though, they don't have that same flirty banter. They seem to be very serious and very sensitive. Any jokes you make, like, they do actually get offended. And I find it really easy to kind of upset an Australian man over any other man I've gone out with. I will say, like, I did date an Australian, like my ex-boyfriend is Australian. I was with him for a year-ish. And the experience was just very different than what I'd experienced before. Yeah, just like really sensitive and like, not funny, like really dull. Like, I'm not saying he wasn't funny, but like, when it comes to men here, I think it's just a difference in like flirting and the way people flirt in Canada maybe and the way people flirt here. And when you are out, no one approaches you. And when I first moved to Australia, I really thought like, wow, am I really that ugly? I just came from a place where when me and my friends would go out, it would be pretty easy to like not spend money the whole night because people will buy you drinks. But here, no one's bought me a drink. And yeah, I thought it was just me, but then when I go to Europe, guys talk to you, they buy you drinks, they're very flirty, very romantic, and compliment you, but here that doesn't happen. So I find it like really difficult to like connect with people here, like when it comes to dating, because of how like surface level everything is. Like, the conversation does not get that deep, and it's just, yeah, so surface level. Obviously this isn't all Australians, I'm just saying the ones that I have personally met and dealt with, and from talking to other girls, other expats that live in Australia, a lot of people do find it challenging to date in Australia. Not only romantic relationships are difficult here, but platonic relationships with Australians are also difficult because I find they almost like gatekeep their relationships. Everyone here has been friends for a really long time and they stay within their circle, so they don't want to expand the circle. In a way, I do get it. You do what makes you comfortable. You're not going to just be friends with everyone. But for example, when I meet someone new and I think she's really cool, I like to introduce her to my friends, and then I love everyone to be friends together, and then maybe she gets along with one friend and then they start hanging out, and then we all hang out together and we're all one big group of friends. And I love inviting people to things, and maybe that is the expat in me, but I just love meeting new people and doing that. And the Australians I have met, say from work, or I mean, it's really hard to meet Australian friends anyway, but just from work, you you invite them into your life, but they will never actually invite you into their life. There is like this fine line, like you're here and they're always here with their friends and you never get to go there. So it's really difficult when you are trying to settle down and be here for a long time. A lot of your friends end up being other expats, which I'm not complaining about because I do have really good friends. However, when I do think like, oh, if I want to be in Australia long term, I'd love to know some Australians. And unfortunately, the only Australians I met was through my ex-boyfriend. And obviously I am not friends with those people because that is my ex-boyfriend. Yeah, so the better word for it is gatekeepy. Like Australians tend to gatekeep all their friends and don't let you in. Going back to dating as well, when men do come up and talk to you, you can't really tell if they are hitting on you. And then the way they let you know is they just ask you to go back to their place, and that's it. It's very straight to the point, and you don't build up that like flirty relationship. You don't build up any like tension. It's just like friendly conversation, and then suddenly, oh, let me come back with you. I also realized that the dating is very low effort in terms of where you go as well. They do really love to go to the restaurants. It's like, it's a QR code scanner, so like you can each pay for your own, and it's just really casual, and I'm just not used to that. I'm used to something with a little bit more effort and thought in it. And I find too, as an expat, as soon as they find out that like you're not from here, instead of that being an interesting thing about you, it's almost like they already know they can't be bothered, so they're not gonna put in any effort, and anything about the future is like out of question. When I was dating my ex, we almost always avoided the visa conversation or anything to do with the fact that I might have to leave. I've also noticed that the like, I wouldn't say subtle is the right word, but subtle racism that they do portray, and it's right off the bat, like it's right after meeting you. Even yesterday we had someone come up to us in a bar, find out my friend was from England, and then immediately say, oh, so you must hate the immigration problem over there. And it's like, well, you're also talking to two immigrants. I've just found overall that differences aren't really celebrated here. I'm not saying that is the case all the time, but when it comes to dating and friendships as well, everyone seems to be the same. If you're not this cookie cutter way for them, then it's just not, like, you're not gonna be their friend, you're not gonna work out dating, and if you're not like in the group, then you'll never be in the group. I'm not saying this is all Australians. I've met some amazing Australians, and my friends also have really good Australian boyfriends, but from an experience of a single person, it is quite challenging to date Australians. When I have gone on dates with other nationalities, like say British people, I have had flowers brought to me or little gifts, and like a proper date has been planned, whereas with Australians it's very low effort. It's very, well, what do you want to do, or oh, you should just come back to mine. No matter what, they always want you to go back to theirs, and that's just something I hadn't experienced in Canada. I've always had like a couple of dates before even considering going back to theirs, and almost got like the princess treatment before, and they kind of cut that out here. That doesn't exist. It's just straight to the point. But yeah, I've heard this is a pretty universal experience. Like I've heard from other expats, they experience the same thing. Obviously, like I said before, it's not all of them. I've met some really lovely Australian people, but it is quite challenging for someone who has been here for 2 years. So I have really tried to like make Australian friends, get into the dating world, and it's just not that good.
I heard that this is a common experience here in Australia, and I just got ghosted by an Australian man. I'm not against ghosting 100%. I think it depends on the situation, but like for example, in this case, this guy wanted to see me and go out with me, asked me when I was free. I said when I was free, and he proceeded to ask what time I was free, and then I said depends, where are we going? And then he ghosted me. What do you mean? You wanted to see me, asked me when I was free. I said it. Just because I asked really makes no sense in my mind. I'm not mad, but it's just like weird. What do you mean? Don't say that you want to see me if you don't want to see me. Simple.
The low-effort dating style isn't an accident. It's a calculated defense mechanism that high-value men are using globally. To understand the exact mechanics of how modern validation traps work and how you can completely protect your time and resources, click on this next breakdown right here. Stay analytical.